Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is TheWalkthroughKing, and today we have an insane video covering pretty much everything we could see at the surface level of the storyline, as well as a few things that will be upcoming into the game at another point in time that is very pertinent to the storyline itself. So get ready, as the storyline is about to kick into overdrive, and they are definitely delivering with this season. Anyways, if you guys are new here, definitely recommend subscribing and joining our amazing community. We are always live every single day with a video or a stream, and if you guys want to support the channel, a like on this video would be appreciated. Anyways, strap right in, let's get right into this. Starting out from the top, we gotta address the elephant in the room right away, and that is, what is the secret, mysterious organization that has been brought to light to us from the end of Season 2, as well as going into the intro of Season 5? Well, in the background footage right now, it is showing off their logo, as well as one of their hidden bases that they have throughout many of the different point of interest this season. So right off the bat, we can already tell that they have a lot of power and control, because how else would they have all of these secret hidden bases pop up just pretty much on a whim? But we do actually know what this main group is called. They're called the Imagined Order. We found this out thanks to Fort Tory for finding in the game files the description of the guards that are actually sent out to stop us. Now, currently, we don't know what the Imagined Order is actually after, besides just keeping the loop going and making sure absolutely nobody escapes the loop. It also seems like they are almost the protectors of the 0 point in this season, which leads me to believe that Singularity in previous versions going back into the Chapter 1 map might have even been a part of the Imagined Order as well. Now that I will get into in another video where I basically recap the entirety of the Fortnite storyline, but for now we're just going to focus on what is currently going on in Season 5. Now, I personally do believe that the Imagined Order is going to turn out to be a villain group, as a snapshot of Jonesy, which we will get into later on in this video, ends up saying to you, if you go and find and talk to him, "Oh, you're not one of them," and it is highlighted in red. One could assume that he is referring to the Imagined Order, and just by the way he talks about it, he almost makes it out to be like they are some sort of bad group, and just because they want total power right now and want nobody to escape, I feel like they are a villain group. Going even further though, right before Agent Jonesy is sent out on his mission to make sure nobody escapes the loop, he misses a order telling him not to get the attention of the Seven.
And do not draw the attention of the Seven, Jones.
Now, as we know from previous seasons, Season 4 and Season X, the Seven is also a mysterious group of scientists. We only know the identities of 3 so far, that being Paradigm, the Visitor, and the Scientist. We know that their goal was to escape the loop.
What the 7 of us are attempting is very risky. I suspect they are not the only ones watching, but it must be done or we lose the bridge forever.
We don't actually know a whole lot of other information about this group, other than some talk from the NPCs that are now in the map, as well as we do know that their main headquarters, at least it seems like their main headquarters, is located far below the map, as we saw from the intro cutscene to the season when Jonesy entered into the map and into the 0 point from way down below. As we also know from the intro cutscene, Agent Jonesy was employed to go in and stop anybody from messing with the 0 point, as well as keep everybody into the loop itself. The reason everything even got this way was because last season, Galactus came and took the 0 point from their control. As we just saw, there was that little area with a bunch of the giant panels, which looked to be the area that they contained the 0 point in before this. And then right away at the beginning of that intro, they talked about us stopping Galactus and it being a good thing.
They did it! We're still here!
Yeah, but the 0 point is exposed.
However, because of the events of the Galactus event, instead of the 0 point now being in their control and down below and contained, the 0 point is once again way out in the open, just like it was back in Chapter 1. And as we know from how Chapter 1 ended, once the 0 point is unstable and out like it is, crazy things can end up happening throughout the map. Some of the big changes that we have seen are the different point of interest that have now changed the map, as well as we now have a ton of different NPCs that look to be almost corrupted or changed by the 0 point in a way, located all throughout the map. We will focus on two in particular that seem to be very important, or at least have a lot of good information, one being Alexa and the other being Bunker Jonesy. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about the 0 point itself real quick. Now, as we just talked about, the 0 point has a lot of power, and when it goes unstable, it changes the map in the places up quite drastically. However, it also has a lot of different abilities. The Imagined Order uses it to keep us in a loop, and when we are in this loop, it almost seems like we lose our mind and just lose the ability to speak and go mute. This was even revealed to us all the way back when the scientist was releasing audio transmissions to us.
When I hear this again, will it help me remember? Or once looped, will I be just as muted as the others?
And it's probably a reason why 90% of the NPCs that are out about on the map this season have absolutely no dialogue whatsoever. But one very interesting thing to take note of is right before Agent Jonesy does go into the 0 point, he says something very interesting, and that is that we do not need another snapshot of me out there.
Last thing we need is another snapshot of me inside the loop.
Now, what exactly could he be referring to when he says a snapshot? Well, in this particular case, I believe he is talking about what a snapshot is in the computer sense, and the definition for that is a storage snapshot is the state of a system at a particular point in time. And this makes a lot of sense, as there are a ton of different characters, some even having multiple versions of themselves. So we can basically assume from that each character that has multiple versions, that is a different snapshot of that character in that state of time. Now, finally getting into one of the major NPCs that is out on the map is Bunker Jonesy. And the description for Bunker Jonesy is reports indicate that this might be a snapshot of one of the very first times Jonesy visited the loop. Being trapped for decades, if not centuries, has left him paranoid and distrustful, so approach with caution. And once we do actually approach him, he looks very, very different to any of the other NPCs that are actually in the map, almost like he is extremely corrupted by the 0 point itself. And it makes a lot of sense that this is one of the first Jonesy's that did have a snapshot taken of him. As we know, he witnessed the events of Season 8. Going into Season 9, he came back out into the world, and while he was actually in the vault for Season 9, right before he got out, we do know that he drew on the wall in that vault and had visions of a ton of the different events that were going to take place throughout time in Fortnite. I do kind of have the theory, because he was able to see those visions, that maybe the different snapshot versions of characters are almost connected in a way that they can see visions of what that character could actually see. This I'm not so sure of though, and we should find more information throughout the time of the Fortnite storyline for that, but that is kind of my running theory right now from everything we have seen, and it does make a bit of sense, seeing as how else would he have seen all of those visions, being as he was a separate snapshot from the Jonesies that actually did get to witness all those other events. Anyways, getting back into it though, if you actually go and talk to this what looks to be corrupted Bunker Jonesy, almost kind of fading in and out of reality, he goes a bit into about the loop itself, saying that he does know a way to get out of it, but it is very dangerous, which almost echoes what the scientists had said. It is extremely risky what they were attempting to do all the way back in Season X.
What the 7 of us are attempting is very risky.
And then this Bunker Jonesy goes on to further state that 9 out of 10 Jonesies want to actually keep this secret intact. This makes a lot of sense, seeing as there are a lot of different snapshots of Jonesy from different points of time when he did enter the loop, and that we should keep searching and trust no one. I assume when he says to trust no one, he is referring to they watching us again.
I suspect they are not the only ones watching, but it must be done or we lose the bridge forever.
And they are pretty much more than likely the Imagined Order, as they are the only group that seem to want us to stay in this loop. Now, there's actually a reboot quest line with more Bunker Jonesy dialogue that is currently not accessible in the game. Credit to Fortnite again for this information. Jonesy then goes on to talk about the vans, the bunkers, the elevators. Everything is tied together. Where does it all come from? How? He then goes on to say that he thinks the vans could be the way out out of the loop and questions who actually owns the vans, as well as going on to say that he doesn't think the Midas that returned was the same Midas. Now, this is absolutely huge, as we know the original Midas actually could have been a part of the Imagined Order, or associated in some way with them. But as we saw from the end of the device event, he too actually had an alternative motive to escape and break out of the loop. He almost did end up accomplishing that. But things did not work out exactly how he planned, and as we saw from the next intro season, he was just way out in the water and a shark attacked him and got him. It was confirmed that that was not the end of Midas and that he would be back. We have actually seen another snapshot of Midas being the Midas Rex version, a part of the Joker pack, and there are hints to a different version, a girl version of Midas, that should be releasing and coming into the Fortnite map at a different point in time. So who knows what this new version of Midas that will be in the map, what the plans actually are for that character now. But Bunker Jonesy did go on to say that he does not trust whoever makes the reboot cards. He also kind of goes into his insane paranoia, saying that he thinks Bigfoot was behind it all, which more than likely isn't the case, but who knows, maybe Bigfoot will be a big part of the story in the future. For now, I just think that is him being centuries old and just, as you could tell by his character, kind of almost corrupting now. His mind is going insane. That's probably just some crazy theory that he's thought up in his own paranoia mind now. But finally, he goes on to say, not escaping this time, but soon. And there is one big thing that he says in the finale of that new dialogue, and that is the storm hasn't reset yet. There's still time to try and escape the loop. Now, that is absolutely huge, because that goes back to season 2, where Midas actually did try to affect the storm. We now know that the storm itself still has been greatly affected by what he did with the device, and what he caused is the start of something even greater, as it has not been completely fixed yet what he started. There is still time to escape the loop, going off of what Midas had actually started back in season 2. Now, that's actually the most of what we can see currently for the season 5 storyline. Like I said, they are kicking the storyline into overdrive, and it is absolutely insane the amount of knowledge we're getting out of this, and I am loving the way they are taking this storyline. But there is actually one more thing that we can go over and cover that does pertain to the storyline a little bit. Once again, credit to Fortnite for unearthing these dialogue lines from the game files. He presumes that these dialogue lines are from the character Alexa in-game, and Alexa basically goes on to talk to you, saying that the quests you get from different characters seem to be a good way to get to know the island, and that the place is always changing and unstable. Of course, we know it's unstable as the 0 point is now just way out there in the open. When the 0 point is out there, it causes crazy changes. Alexa then goes on to say that she gets the feeling that the quest givers are hiding something, and that potentially she thinks that they're starting to trust us. This, I think, is a false reality, as we know from Agent Jonesy's direct orders, do not let anybody escape. Getting into the next dialogue line though, Alexa says she seems to think that there are always more quests, and that is quite interesting. This kind of points to that all of these quests that we're getting are more of a distraction from what Agent Jonesy is going about the map to do, and to keep us away from looking at what is happening with the 0 point itself and them actually trying to contain the 0 point again. Alexa then went on to say that she thinks she saw that Jonesy guy, but not the same one. He seemed off. More of these quests we do, the more I think I'm onto something. Maybe she did see one of these snapshot versions of Jonesy. Who knows if it was Agent Jonesy, but since she said that he seemed off, it could have potentially have been Bunker Jonesy with how corrupted he actually was. With her thinking the more quests you do, the more she's onto something, it could just be her playing into the distraction of the quest itself again. She goes on to say, you've seen that 0 point thing? I think it's central to whatever's going on. This is pretty much obvious. And continues again, saying if we do enough of these quests, we might get some answers, but what if Jones is trying to keep everyone busy with these quests? This is exactly what I think is going down. Alexa then moves on to say, after these quests are done, I want to find Jones. He owes me answers. Almost alluding to that Jones had hired her and brought her in with little to no information, just as a distraction to everybody else around the island. Alexa then says, you ever notice that some people are around more than others, and that she doesn't trust the imagined order goons that are going around? While she doesn't know exactly how the loop thing works, she thinks that they're not all a part of it, which I believe is true as well. I don't think the guards that are sent into the map are a part of the loop, and I think they are exfilled out before the loop goes through again. That way, a lot of the different agents a part of the imagined order do not have snapshots of themselves taken and sent throughout the island again. She goes on to say that some things do loop and others don't, but we should keep experimenting with those quests, almost as if she's kind of brainwashed into the distraction of the quests themselves to keep our eyes off everything that truly is going on around the island. Completing quests to cause chaos, it has a nice ring to it. That Jonesy guy said he just wanted us to cause chaos. I guess this counts. Pretty much again showing that they want us to create huge distractions, chaos, and just a ton of things to keep our eyes off what truly is going down this season. And that is the big question for what is going to go down with the major Season 5 event that should take place at the end of the season. Now, that was a ton of information to go over right there. This season really is kicking off everything into overdrive storyline-wise. What is the Imagined Order truly up to? We should find out soon. Is the 7 going to come back, and will we see another snapshot of one of these 7 members? Let me know your thoughts on all of this down below. I'm so excited to finally get into storyline videos for Fortnite. This has been something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. As we move on with more and more storyline videos, I should get down a format for these, and in the future, I will basically recap every single thing coming up until this point in the Fortnite seasons. If you guys did enjoy this video, a like would be appreciated. This took a ton of time to put together. And if you do know anybody that is in the storyline just as much as I am, why not share the video out with them and get them up to date as well with what is going on up to Season 5. This has been the Walkthrough King, and if you guys are new here and made it this far, if you guys enjoy what we have done so far, definitely recommend subscribing and joining our amazing community. I'm out for now, and we will see you guys at the next video. Peace!